watching the Go Crying to Walk In podcast. I'm Chef Cholo. You already know. As usual, we are powered by Hospitality News Magazine and Hospitality News Magazine Online. If you want to have your finger on the pulse of everything hospitality, events, trends, just anything that's happening cool, look no further than Hospitality News. Today's guest is my brother from another mother, Steve Bello. What's up, brother?
What's happening?
We're gonna reach in there, my man.
How long we go back?
Well, I'm gonna tell you how that's a good segue right there. So, I graduated Culinary Institute in 1988, and I went right to the Royce Collin Hotel, which was in Melville, which is now the Huntington Hilton, maybe. Okay. And there was a group of guys in that hotel that had just opened. It was a brand new hotel. John Erickson was the executive chef, Tommy LaFaso, and there were all these guys that came out of Garden City Hotel. And if I heard the name Steve Bello once, I must have heard it 1,000 times. Steve Bello this, Steve Bello that. You were a legend at that time, brother. A legend. You're a little bit older than me. I don't want to tell everybody how old you are here, but you're a little bit older than me. And then eventually I went on to work at Garden City Hotel and even more lived the legend. So me and you have known each other for, 30 years, but I've been knowing who you were for 40 years. You know what I mean?
The Garden City Hotel, some great memories there. But remember one thing, when I started there, I sold my restaurant in Babylon Village.
Uh-huh.
And my daughter was just born, so I wanted a job with, benefits and so forth. So I walked in. John Erickson was the executive chef, and I had been an executive chef for a good 10 plus years.
Right.
And John's like, I have one job. I have a banquet cook. I go, I'll take it. So every Saturday, John Erickson would walk by banquets and look down there.
Keith was down there too?
Keith Hawk, yep. And Tom LaFaso.
I started in banquets at Garden City.
And they would look down there and they're like, this guy's smoking it, right?
Yeah.
And
he don't belong down there. That happened to me there
every
too.
Saturday night, the chef de cuisine in their 4-star restaurant at Georgia's would have a meltdown. So they'd go, Steve, we need your help.
Get up here.
So I would go up there after about 3 or 4 weeks.
Gotta go up to 3 stairs.
Yeah. And I work saute, because saute to me is just like poetry in motion.
That's it,
right?
baby. Picking up.
And they never could figure out, like after I did 250 covers, why I never got dirty.
That was a thing.
That was my thing, right?
Some guys are clean.
I never got sloppy.
But you know the guy that came after you, Stephen Mead, same way.
Yes.
Clean as a pin. Clean as a pin. Not me.
Some good memories from there.
I changed my apron 10 times.
Yeah.
So you went to banquet. You worked for Keith. A similar thing happened to me. Ollie Barker became the chef. He was like looking down the stairs. He was like, "Come over here. You're working up here now." You know what I mean? And that was awesome for me. So you ran Giorgio at that time, right? And when did you move on? You went up to the hospital right after that?
Well, again, I had a restaurant. Then I was at the hotel, and my ex-wife said, there's got to be a better balance, to raise kids and stuff. And she was right.
Right.
So she saw an ad in the paper, South Nassau Community Hospital, executive chef.
Bingo.
So I interviewed for it. And I came home, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to work in a hospital. I work in a 4-star hotel.
Right.
We're flying stuff in from France.
Right.
There's no food cost. And I declined. 2 weeks later, they called me back. They said, look, we just want to spend some time with you. Spend a week here. I spent a week there. 32 years later.
Amazing.
I had a beautiful career there because I had an administration that supported me. They allowed me to build a hotel brigade in a hospital setting.
I mean, but like you kind of, were you, so Sodexo was the food service company when you went there first? Because that wasn't the whole time, right?
Sodexo's been there for 40
the whole
years.
time.
Correct.
So you work for them as a chef, or you work for the hospital?
I work for the hospital, so I was Sodexo's client.
Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were one of the chefs that really changed how people ate in a hospital, right? They didn't have like an ordering system like they do now when you first got there, right, brother?
One of the things that I wanted to do was revolutionize food service in a hospital because when you're sick, the first comment people make is
How was the food?
The food sucks,
How
right?
was the food?
And I wanted to give them, like my grandmother used to make grandma's chicken soup. It was amazing. It was an elixir, right?
Right.
So I wanted to make soups like that would go up to the patients. And again, I had a garde manger chef. I had a baker. We had an a la carte line in the hospital. We did everything from scratch, soup, stock, sauces. And the results were unbelievable.
Wow.
And even to this day, you go to hospitals and you go to nursing homes, the
They're all
quality's not
changed.
there, though.
Well, maybe not, but you could see they're all changed.
Yes.
Where like the patient would get a menu now and have
Yeah.
can choose of what he's going to eat.
Hmm.
It was never like that for years. So I think to your credit, even though every hospital isn't going to have the quality that you carried over there at your hospital, they definitely have changed, and I think you have a lot to do with that, brother.
You know, bottom line in any business now is dollars and cents, right?
Absolutely.
You know, in the early 90s, it was all about quality. Cost was an issue, but not a major issue. Now, it's all about cost. It's all about labor
Well, we
costs,
have no choice
which makes
because
things challenging.
everything costs more.
Yeah.
So you saw that progression happen over the years at
Oh,
the
yeah.
hospital. Was that a reason why you wanted to retire, or you were just ready to go anyway?
It was time for me. I will tell you this: for 32 years, there was not one day that I went to work that I said, "I got to get this done today." High energy, motivated, passionate. I love what I do.
Yeah.
And
Even on the days where you had the testing for a week, remember you used to tell me like they would come in and they would.
oh yeah,
You would have
survey
to
and
go
stuff.
surveys.
That was stressful.
That's like a government body that comes in and
Yeah.
does that, right? That's
Yeah.
not a chef. Those
No.
those aren't like culinary people.
Those
They
are
got a protocol, and they're just gonna follow it.
yeah. That's like the Department of Health on steroids.
But it's like it's a federal group, not
Yes,
a state group.
correct.
And how many times a year would a hospital get would go through that kind of vigorous thing?
We go
Rigorous.
through we go through it twice a year.
Twice a year. It takes a
Yeah.
week or
Yeah.
longer.
1 week.
And they're up in there they're up in your craw the
Oh
whole
yeah.
time.
Testing, chilling, temperatures, hygiene, cross contamination. They're on it all.
What's the big difference working as a hospital chef than let's say a hotel chef? Is it like the numbers? What you're saying about cooling? I mean, let's tell us what you mean by temperatures and cooling. What does that mean?
Well,
Guy makes a soup and it's boiling hot, but you're not going to serve it tomorrow. What's the process, chef?
Well, we had a whole scientific process that I implemented where you'd make the soup, then you would put it into a blast chiller. You would track the cooling time electronically on your computer to make sure you got it under that certain temperature in a specific period of time. And you would keep those logs because
But
now when you reheat it, you got to track the reheating. So if you got sick on, let's say, meatloaf,
Okay.
chef, when'd you cook the meatloaf? Cooked it on Monday. All right, you served it on Wednesday. Walk me through the process of the cooking, the cooling, and the reheating of that item. Physically walk me through it in logs. Everything that you did.
So it's done by a computer, or there's a guy writing this down?
No, it was done by computer. We had probes in each of those items as it was cooling down.
Wow.
So you look on your computer screen, and there's all your data.
Now, how many things you would say you had 15 gallons of soup? It would all cool down in one vessel, or you had probes all over the place?
We would break it down. We'd break it down.
Right, and you could only how much could the machine control at that point?
Well, for example, if let's say you put 6 4-gallon containers in the blast chiller,
Okay.
same amount of liquid, same pan, you don't have to probe every single
I
one.
get it,
You
I get
probe
it.
one.
And they're
or
all doing the
two.
same thing.
Exactly.
Okay. When you say blast chiller, is that like a walk-in? Are we crying in the walk-in? Or no, it's not the walk-in.
It's not a walk-in. It's
No.
picture an enclosed double baker's rack.
Okay.
So you take these racks, you wheel them in,
Okay.
you set the timer, hit it with the probes, close the door, and track you
How
cooling.
cold does a blast chiller get? 30 degrees below
30,
zero?
40 below.
Really?
Yeah.
And the idea to cool something down as quick as possible, explain, chef.
Well, in order to cool things down as quick as possible, you want to get it under 40 degrees
As quickly
in
as
a
possible.
6-hour period.
Okay.
So, a lot of times you go into private restaurants, they don't have any of these HACCP programs, right?
No.
Hazard
Sometimes the
analysis,
chicken
critical.
stock smells a little
Exactly.
farty, right?
Yeah, and I know.
You know. And it's not like you're
If
getting sick from
I
it,
taste something, I'm like, nah, this is a little off,
but
right?
it's a little farty.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law, she lives with us. She lives with me. She's been living with me for the last 30 years. And she's an awesome cook. And one time, she made chicken soup one day for us, and then, the next day we ate it, and it was farty. You know what I mean? I never, from her cooking, I never experienced it. So I said, she goes, "You're not eating." I go, "Ma, how'd you cool this down?" She goes, "Oh, well, I was doing something. I left it out or whatever." She goes, "Is you gonna?" I go, "No one's gonna get sick, Ma. It's just, something happened in there. You know what I mean?"
Well, growing up, right? You'd see meat, poultry on the
Sitting
counter
out.
thawing, right? We
Sitting
know
out.
better now.
Oh.
Or they would cook a turkey and it would sit out for hours, and then you'd eat it later on at night. Nobody realized that they may have had foodborne illness, but maybe that night they're like, my stomach's bothering me a little bit.
You just thought you ate too much.
Yeah, they didn't know any better. But we know better now, right?
We learn. Yeah, we learn. So, what is your best memory, your most fondest memory from being over at that hospital as being a hospital chef? There's got to be one thing or a couple of things that really stick out. Because I know you did a lot of cool stuff over there.
Well, I got to work with you on many occasions. One of the things the hospital instilled in me was to raise funds, right? Because
Evening of Good Taste. Let's go there.
Evening of Good Taste. And it was...
I mean, for people that don't understand what the Evening of Good Taste was, let's explain that. There is a format that every charity now on Long Island follows, where it's like they get restaurants from the area. They rent out a big place like Crest Hollow. They get restaurants from the area to donate their services and their food, which enables the restaurant to promote themselves in an arena of, sometimes upwards of 1,000 people. So the Evening of Good Taste was what invented that program, and you were the guy that invented that.
Yeah. And there were years we had multi-levels at the Crest Hollow.
Oh, my
Ice
God.
carving competitions, bakery
It
competitions.
was huge at one
Yeah,
point.
it was
really big. I mean, we had like culinary competition going on at the time.
And I'm proud that it
was
we
never
raised
my
over
thing
$1 million.
over $1 million in the time that you did it.
Yeah,
Because they don't
20
do it no
years.
more. They don't do it no more.
We did it for 20 years, and then we retired it because
You went from 1,000 people to 600 people.
Yeah.
And then listen. What we have to figure out is what's the next Evening of Good Taste. And the guys in our culinary group and the American Culinary Federation, that's what they're desperately trying to figure out. What is the next thing that we could use as a fundraising palette to really to make people interested? Because food is always the thing. I mean, we all know it. I mean, you can't watch a television show without seeing a chef. You can't watch a show about anything without somebody in the show going that they ate, name dropping some awesome restaurant in New York or LA or, wherever. I mean, now there's awesome restaurants all over the place now. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. Well, things have changed. I mean, I graduated Culinary Institute fellow alumnus.
Yes, sir.
In 1978.
Don't be afraid. 78.
I'm not.
It was way after Tom Chaudel, so don't worry. He was 73, I think. He actually went to both campuses, which was awesome when he told me that.
So
you lived in Roth Hall, didn't you?
I did.
Or you lived off campus?
I lived in Roth Hall for a short period of time. I'm like, nah, it's not for me. I need to live off campus.
There wasn't enough chicks. You couldn't bring any chicks up to Roth Hall. It wasn't happening. Yeah, culinary school was a wild thing.
Yeah.
It was a wild place. I mean, it was a bunch of guys, free thinkers, artists, guys that, didn't really follow rules too well, all together in one big house learning how to cook professionally.
Good experience, though.
Corky Clark just died. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
R.I.P. What'd you have him for? American Regional?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. He wouldn't let you say American Regional, though. American cuisine. There ain't no region in this country, boy.
It's amazing how we land where we land, though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Here I am now, totally out of the business.
But I'm watching you through your social media. You're using the same techniques that you did to be a great chef in what you're doing now. Let's talk about that. I see you.
I always had an interest in real estate.
Uh-huh.
So 5 years ago, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get my license. So I got my license, floundered around a lot, and
you had to figure it out.
Yeah, somebody at the hospital said, actually a board member. I know you got your license. You need to talk to my cousin, Peter Grosso with Remax.
Okay.
I was with Realty Connect. And a friend of mine took me under his wing, but not everybody is a good mentor.
They don't want to do that, right?
They could be great salesmen, but they can't train.
Teaching's hard.
And I wasn't getting the mentorship that I had.
And let's face it, it's a cutthroat industry. I know a lot of people
It's
that do
rough.
what you do. They're not very friendly to the other.
Yeah.
The sales, whatever you want to call you guys, the agents or whatever. They're pretty much a one-way guy. So you found somebody that was able to share with you, which is not easy.
And fast track me, because he goes, we met at the Peter Pan Diner, and his name's Peter Grosso. We sat down for an hour. We had a dynamic conversation, and he looked me in the eye and he goes, I want you working for me. I go, I can't work for you. He's like, why not? I go, because the fees are too high.
Now, what do you mean by fees?
Well, as
you don't make the money.
As realtors, we pay a certain amount of our commission to the brokerage.
Because they get the leads. No.
They help produce leads, but for the most part, we're really on our own because we're independent contractors.
Okay.
So we trailed each other, and Peter was a big social media guy. Never been estranged to the camera, as you know, because as a chef, I always did videos and so forth. So I trailed him, and 3 months later, he called me up. He goes, listen, I'm going to make you a deal you can't refuse. Come work for me. And it was the best thing I ever did, because in a short period of time, he gave it to me right between my eyes, and he fast-tracked me and trained me and gave me the tools to be successful. Here I am 5 years later in the business, and in a very difficult, competitive business now, with interest rates as they are and all, and I'm doing extremely well. And to your point, Chris, a lot of those fundamentals that I had as a chef, you wouldn't think carry over into real estate, but they do.
They do.
Because
service.
Can you manage people? Do you have communication skills, right? Are you empathetic? Are you kind? Are you a businessman?
Right.
All of those things play in. And the thing that really helps make me successful, is I give a shit. I really care about my clients.
Yep.
I don't need a deal now.
People feel that. I know they do.
I tell them, your timeline's my timeline. I want a client for life. I don't want a one and done. If you want a one and done, I'm not your guy.
Yep.
And it's worked for me.
The woman who sold me and my wife off, we've had 3 homes. We've been lucky enough to move 3 different times since we got married. The woman who sold us our first house, we've been living in Setauket now for 23 years. Every year she sends a Christmas card still, because she
top of mind.
She's top. If I ever need anything, I mean, I'll call you, brother. But you know what I mean. This Nancy's always there. You know what I mean. Her card's always just sitting there.
My clients, every quarter, something's in the mail. Thanksgiving comes around. I'm knocking on their door. Apple pie with my logo. I want to stay top of mind, and I care about them, and they care about me. I've had clients to my home for dinner. I've been to their home, so it's just. Debbie,
what about that $4,000 pizza oven? Oh! Debbie, I promise Stephen's going to cook more on the pizza oven. I had to talk with him.
The first thing this guy says when I show up, he's like, "Where's Debbie?"
You know, everyone got a better half, brother.
I'm like, I didn't know I could bring her.
Everybody
Debbie wanted to come.
Oh, no, you're going to be in trouble now.
I'm going to catch a beating tonight when I get home.
Just so Debbie knows, I would have never excluded her from the podcast.
But here's the thing, right? And you know this, Chris. Behind every successful man is a good woman.
Well, it's funny because, I knew you for a long time, and you're a successful guy, right? And then and then I saw your transition. I saw you get divorced. I saw you marry. Saw you get with Debbie and get married. You are a different guy with her. I see you are so happier with her. And again, every man deserves to be happy.
Yeah.
And again, this is no credit on your first wife. I don't really even know her too well.
Right.
We have met over the years. I'm not saying I'm a foreign to be or anything like that, but I could definitely see you, because you're my friend, are happier with that.
Yeah.
So I commend you on that.
She brings out the best in me, because remember something, real estate, people are like, oh, you made a comment earlier, you're like, man, you're living the life, because I see you on social media, but real estate, 24/7.
It is, right? But so is our industry. Same thing.
Yeah.
I see you in Vegas, though, at your thing.
Yeah,
I
you know.
see you out there.
Aruba.
You're always good like that, brother.
Yeah.
You're always good. You understand. You got to be out there. You got to put yourself out there. You know what I mean? You got to be available.
People don't just want to know you're a realtor. They want to know that you're a human
You're
being.
available.
And that exactly. So, and Debbie asks me all the time. She's like, I don't understand though. She goes, because I fell in love with a chef, right? I go, first of all, once a chef, always a chef.
That's right. You can't get rid of that.
It's a fraternal bond.
She worked at the hospital, right?
No, Debbie's a general manager in another healthcare facility.
No, you didn't meet on the job?
We met because South Nassau was a training facility for the region.
Something else.
So
Okay.
general managers, executive chefs that would come into Sodexo would come to South Nassau for a week and train.
Okay. Hey, it's your boy Chef Cholo from the Go Crying to Walk In podcast. And if you're like me, you yearn for that old school relationship between purveyors and chefs. Nowadays, they got me going on a website, looking up my own orders, placing my own orders. I don't even know if the thing's going to get delivered the next day. I got nobody to talk to. If you're looking for that old school service with aggressive pricing, look no further than American Food Connection. What you do is you call the number at the bottom of the screen, you ask for Danny, and you get it straight. You already know. Big hospital. Such a great job they do over there.
I was there last week because I still really care about the people. They were my family for 32 years.
They're still doing the farmers market?
No.
They're doing any of your programs that you did? That's it.
But the place has grown leaps and bounds now that it's been, they joined forces with Mount Sinai.
Mount Sinai.
The independents can't survive anymore,
I got it. That's my doctor system. My doctors are Mount Sinai doctors. Yeah, nice group of people. I remember one time I had a problem on the phone. The girl on the phone was nasty. When I went to the office, she was mean. They called me back. They check in on me now. They want to know, is everything going okay? Yeah. So listen, things happen in business. People have a bad day. But when someone's aware and someone wants to make sure that you're okay now, or that they say, okay, yeah, we know we made a mistake, but how are we doing now? That's really cool, man.
You know what? Service recovery in
Big
any
time.
business is huge.
Listen, we were told you could always. Danny Meyer, in his book, famous restaurateur, writes that we're authors of a book, that we're writing our own book every meal, and we always have the ability to write our own happy ending. So if you don't want to write the happy ending and you want to be mad that the guy sent his soup back 13 times, okay, be mad. But what's it going to do for you? You know what I mean? Because he'll come back tomorrow if you make him happy. On the 14th time, they're going to give him the soup. Because maybe that's just what he is. He likes to send his soup back.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So we're able to deal with that. Now, I see you got, how many grandkids now?
5.
Brother, 5 grand. It exploded over there.
Yeah.
Little Stephen got 2 or 1?
1.
Your daughter has 4?
2.
2.
And my stepdaughter,
Right.
Samantha, has 2.
Has 2 also.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It must be big over there on the holidays.
It gets a little crazy.
You got no time for that pizza oven.
I got to make the time. Now, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah,
Debbie, we're going to make the time for you, hon. Actually,
she
she
requested
requested this weekend. You're always welcome in my home. Always.
Thank you.
This weekend coming up is my birthday weekend.
Oh, you got your birthday coming up.
65 young.
I can't believe you're 65. You look so young, man. When you told me you were 60, when we saw each other a couple weeks ago, I'm like, bro, I'm 56. You're like, I'm 54. I'm 64. I was like, really?
Yeah.
I never knew you were that much ahead of all
I'm going to
of
work
us.
until I'm like 90.
Well, unfortunately, that's us. You know what I mean? What are you going to do? We're not rich guys.
So this week, she goes, Friday night, because now I fired up the pizza oven last week. She's like, she went to Bello Poultry Farm. I don't know if you've been there.
Of course.
Okay, it's amazing.
Sick.
She comes home with these skewers that say Bello on it. She goes, I told them who I am. I want the skewers. Debbie gets what she wants.
I know that.
Yes.
She's no joke.
They're
All
not,
business.
They're not for sale.
She'll
Debbie
get them.
takes a license out. She goes, my name is Bello.
I need those.
She came home with 2.
2 of them?
She goes, I want you to go back there on Friday and get 4 tomahawks.
Right.
Cook
How
them
far? How far is that? That's not by your house. No,
but it's in Holbrook. It's like
in
10
Holbrook,
minutes
right.
away.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to cook them on the skillets in that 800 degree oven.
In the seven, no, just call it a $7,000 oven, a $4,000 oven.
Yeah.
How hot does it get?
It'll get to 900 degrees.
You put wood in there, or it's gas
Wood only,
powered.
wood only.
Wood only.
Yeah.
And it only fits like one pizza? Or no?
I have the
room
big
in there.
one.
You got the big one.
Mine's called Forno Bello. Just happens to have my name on it too.
Just
which is
happens
nice.
to have your name on it.
And you could put 2 16-inch pies.
Oh,
in
okay,
there.
that's big. Yeah, because normally you see people that got that little thing. Yeah.
But it's not just about the pizza. It's about the cast iron cooking.
Muscles.
I did scallops. So you get that
Insane.
pan stoking hot.
Okay.
When you go to sear those scallops, because Debbie likes them crispy, and
Brown
cooked
on the
through. She doesn't
outside.
want them translucent. When those scallops hit that pan, it's like
Really? And you put
Yeah.
the whole pan right back in that bad boy.
back in.
How long does it take? Couple seconds? Couple minutes?
No, I would say maybe like a minute and a half on each side.
Right. Turn it over,
Yeah.
take it back out.
But I'm running in from the pizza oven into the kitchen, so I have one pan with scallops, one pan with shrimp, one pan with potatoes,
Yeah, I know the pain.
and
know
I
the
have
pain.
these special gloves that you can actually hold the skillet. But the time I got into the house, I'm like,
It's
I need
burning
a
through the
spot.
glove.
Yeah, it's burning through the glove.
Burning through the
Gets
glove.
hot.
Ain't nothing better than cooking with cast iron.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. So, grandkids, all this real estate. You got time for any free? You watch television?
We're not big TV people.
No, you guys don't do that.
Or I will tell you, Yellowstone.
You like Yellowstone? Well, everybody got that thing, bro. Me, I'm just strictly TikTok all day long, just staring at TikTok.
Yeah, Debbie she gets mesmerized, but she loves TikTok.
I don't know what it is, man. You don't have to look for anything. It
Yeah.
knows who you are. It's in the phone.
Yeah.
It like knows
Well,
you.
it picks up your algorithm.
Whatever that means. What do these algorithms do? Who invents these things?
I don't know, but they're important.
They know about Chef Cholo, I'll tell you that.
Yes.
This stuff just coming in. Food from all over the world. Whatever it happens to be. Fighting. The new thing is the slap fighting. You see that?
Yep.
The guys slapping each other? Wild, wild. What is your favorite restaurant movie of all time? Favorite of all time. Now take a minute. Take a minute. Is it Big Night? Is it
Burnt was up there.
Burnt's up there? Burnt's up there. Well, what about Fatso with Dom DeLuise? Remember that one?
Yeah.
You ate the Oni. I can't believe you ate the Oni. Remember he ate the half of the cake,
Yep.
the kid's cake? A friend of mine was living in Greenwich Village in the 70s when they filmed that movie there. He told me about that. Burnt? You liked Burnt?
Burnt was good.
Why? Because it seems real, right?
Yeah.
What about this on the Hulu? This The Bear. Did you watch The Bear?
I watched The Bear.
Very authentic,
Yeah.
right? You loved it, right? What about
I don't do dysfunction well, though. You know how I am, right?
you're a straight guy?
Yeah, I'm pretty
You're a
straight.
guy.
Bear kind of stressed me out a little bit.
You would not have a kitchen like that.
It's
sir.
like, oh my
No,
God.
no, no. The psycho cousin. Yeah, you would have none of that.
You know, we talked about this before we went on the air. When I brought Debbie into Chris's kitchen, because I'm like, the chef hat, very.
You didn't even know you had the chef hat that was like pointed at the top.
Yeah.
Even. I remember your chef hat.
Yeah.
I've never worn a chef hat. You realize
A lot of
that,
times
right?
people say, you need to drop the quarters out of your ass and relax a little bit. I'm very like straight laced. So I bring Debbie into his kitchen
Cranking.
and he's got the music cranking and
Sounds like a quinceañera in there.
and my wife's like, "Oh my God, I love this. This is amazing. It's the polar opposite of what you do."
Very
Because in my
different,
kitchen, it's
yeah.
like you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah,
but
I mean-
it works for you because you guys
I
put
don't-
out some amazing products.
Yeah, I don't think you could run a hospital the way I run it there. Yeah, I don't think it would have worked out the same.
Probably
way.
not.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. You never know. You never
Yeah.
know. So you still talk to any of the guys? What about the club? You gonna get back into the club? We need a guy. We need we could use you back in there. You know what I mean?
We go way back, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, right now, American Culinary Federation, they're gonna try and we're gonna try and rebirth it. You know what I mean? We had a couple of hard losses. A couple of guys passed
Yeah.
away
A
after
couple of really close friends of mine, right?
Yeah, it's
Chris
both of
and
us, Chris and
Gerard.
Gerard, both great guys, and both guys they had the time to lead it. You know what I mean? And they had the knowledge behind them. You know what I mean? Chris was not only a great salesman and he had a great knowledge, but he had so much experience. I remember the first time I met him, I was just like, everybody in the room was like, "Yeah, it's Chris Neary, man. He does,
Chris used to when he was over at his restaurant in
like Long Beach. What was it? Or
Yeah.
so Oceanside. I can't remember the name.
He would come and have coffee with me every Monday. And
Really?
Chris loved coffee black, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
my guys know.
No fool around.
And the hard part for me was, Chris was in my hospital towards the end,
I didn't know that.
and even in the beginning of his disease, and Gerard too.
Well, they
So,
both
Yeah,
went. I mean, well,
it was rough for me.
Unfortunately, but fortunately, they didn't have to endure it too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That thing takes you pretty quick. I know it took my dad too. Pancreatic cancer. It's a tough.
And you know
one.
what?
Fuck cancer.
Yeah, that's what I say. Fuck
Taking a
cancer.
lot. Takes a lot.
Uh,
Well, that's the reason why I lost a lot of weight recently too, man. Obesity and cigarettes. That's the number one when you look at that thing. So stop smoking.
you look
I see-
fantastic.
I see you smoking still.
Vape.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
The fuck out of here. Stop smoke. Just keep smoking weed. Never mind the cigarettes.
I was surprised. They asked for your T-shirt size, and
You thought it was gonna be 4X.
no. Debbie and I go, let's go to the cameras, and we're looking. I'm like, nah, he's like an extra large, maybe even a large.
No. Remember, I still have a huge frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You wanted me to wear the shirt right online.
I did.
Yeah, but this will be. Do you mind if see the shirts that are the closest to me? You know what I do? I adjust them a little bit for the gym
You do what you got to do.
because I'm in the gym a lot. So people will know.
All I ask is that at some point I want a photo with you in the shirt.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. You never forget. What do you say? Of
Serving up Long Island real estate.
done. Serving up Long Island real estate.
That's my shtick.
Who came up with that? You or Debbie? Don't lie.
Actually, Debbie and our friend Frankie kind of played with it. But shout out Benjamin Mark Designs. He's an amazing graphic designer.
Right.
He's done Debbie's logo for her custom cottage.
How's she doing with that? Good.
She goes,
Really?
when am I getting on the payroll?
She wants to get paid.
She just made me. I go, I want these kits. I want these. When I'm with clients, right? Sometimes we're looking at 6, 8 different properties, and they may have kids in the car, and they get hungry, right?
Sure.
So I need like a home search survival kit.
Okay.
So she made me these kits.
You're inventing.
Beautiful box with my logo, so the box could be reused. And in the box is like all kinds of stuff: water, granola, goldfish, snacks. So they have something to nosh on during the course of the day.
Amazing, because this could be a whole day for people. You're saying so.
Yeah.
People hunt for houses with their kids even still.
Yeah, if they have no place to bring their kids, sometimes they hunt the house with their dog.
Really?
They got to leave the dog, back though.
What is the market like now? A lot of houses available?
No.
Because it wasn't at one point. Nah,
Inventory is still low.
still very low.
More buyers than sellers.
What about these apartments? Are big money now for somebody. I hate these guys. The guy got a 1-bedroom apartment. He's gonna rent.
Rentals.
$2,000.
Long Island's really struggling. There's not enough apartments either. I mean, early on in my career, I handled rentals because I'm like, you know what? Rentals become buyers. But the risk, what you got to put in and the reward didn't make sense for me.
Okay.
Because there's just not enough. And I had some really good people renting, Suffolk County police officers, people that may be going through a divorce,
Right.
great credit score, the whole bit. Just very competitive. Long Island does not have enough rental properties or enough residential homes right now. So
Wow.
So low inventory, big supply and demand on buyer side, interest rates high. So people are like, Stephen, it's not a good time to buy because interest rates are high. Nothing could be further from the truth, Chris.
Is that right?
Totally. Think about it. 8 months ago, buyers went out. They got a house at like 3.25, great interest rate. They overpaid for the house, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 over asking. So they paid over market value.
Because they had to get it.
Correct. Their shopping experience was horrible because open houses, 100 people waiting online.
Really?
30 offers on one house. So anybody that had really good terms, the rest of the buyers, like these young kids that want to start out, didn't have a chance. Now, yes, interest rates are higher, but they're paying fair market value. They're having a better shopping experience, and down the road they could always refinance. Those people at 3.25, they're locked into that.
Yeah,
we're never going to see that again.
You're never going to get that. I mean, that's what we did. We bought something at 7.5, and then we worked it down, and then eventually get to where it was. What is like? So, what do you? Is there one group of people that are like that are influxing themselves to Long Island? Do you see? Is there any kind of group that is like buying more than like? Oh, I'm always seeing this. These people. I'm always seeing people from out of town. I'm always seeing.
Well, remember when COVID hit, right? And shortly after, you had a very big influx of people coming from the city.
Okay.
Everybody wanted to get out of the city, come to Long Island.
Is that true? Was that happening?
Yeah. And
you saw that?
Yeah, and a lot of them were cash people. So anybody on Long Island, like a young couple wanting to buy a home, you never got,
You can't compete with that.
You can't compete with cash
so
rules.
People will come in and buy a home in cash.
Yeah.
Buy a $700,000 house, $100,000 house in cash. And it's like foreign people or like regular American, regular New Yorkers?
Combination. Right. It was a crazy time then. Like realtors were doing really good, like amazingly good a year ago.
Now you're working.
Now,
harder.
if you survive now you know your stuff.
You're strong.
Yeah.
You're strong.
See, like when you at Crest Tower, right? We know as executive chefs, we're only as good as our team, right?
Uh-huh.
If our team's horrible, we're not going to be successful.
Never.
In real estate, same thing. I come in with a team, the right lawyer, the right inspector,
right,
the right lender, people that I communicate 24/7 to.
So like you're working with one mortgage guy, one this guy, one that guy. Even the inspector is a big part of this.
Big part.
No, don't people don't they want to bring their own inspector, like my Uncle Jimmy, my Uncle Johnny type thing? Or no, you don't see that?
Once in a blue moon, you'll see that.
Okay. I was trying to think back when we did it, but we have a brother-in-law that's in construction, so he would do that, I guess.
I had one. I wouldn't say it was a bad experience. I had a client, 1.5 million, which is a nice client, right?
That's a great client.
And found him a home, accepted offer. His cousin was the inspector.
You didn't like it. Made it difficult.
The deal went
sour.
Yeah. But in all fairness to him, it was a flip.
Okay.
And it was done very poorly. So they found like 30 things that were wrong. And they're like, if we see 30, there's probably 30 others that we don't see.
Like what could be wrong? Like bugs and stuff? What are you talking
meaning
about?
like new roof on top of bad plywood.
Okay.
Appliances installed not to code.
Not to code.
Just a lot of issues. And
now, what about new construction? You like working on something like that?
I haven't really done a lot of new construction.
Done that. And what about these apartments? They're like realtors sell, like when an apartment complex goes up, is a realtor involved in something like that?
Some realtors do. I do primarily residential, and I've also done some commercial. So
like you maybe get into like restaurants and stuff like that, maybe?
Yeah.
That would be a perfect fit for you.
I've done like salons. I've done industrial. Commercial's a different animal, though. But I remember early on when I was taking all my courses, I was always sparked by the commercial end of it.
Really? What do you mean by that? What made you feel like it was better than doing residential?
It's like a lot of investing in time and energy, but the payoff is unbelievable.
The deals are much bigger.
Yeah. Like these triple net leases and stuff, as a realtor, you could make money continuously, residual income.
Why is that? What do you mean?
Well, for example, like when you go into malls and stuff.
Okay.
If you're facilitating those malls and those retail spots, you get paid every month.
So a realtor's involved in like a store in a mall?
Yeah.
Really? Like a strip mall or like a mall? Like a honey?
No, like a mall.
Really?
Now, you remember the Sunvet Mall?
Of course.
This big
it's gone, though, isn't it?
There's big things going on with that.
Like, talk to me. What? It's not a flea market? Wasn't it a flea market?
Well, remember Asian Pizza?
Yeah, I like flea
They were
markets.
like the last ones to go out, and they joined forces with Cholo's. But they're leveling that building, and there's going to be like, from what I understand, because it's hush-hush, like a Trader Joe's. They're going to make that shopping center big.
But every time I look around, there's another shopping center with a giant building empty in it.
I know.
I mean, am I crazy?
Well, let me ask you a question. How much online shopping do you do?
Mrs. Palmer does a lot. Yeah, I mean, I guess I do it too. Yeah, I guess I do it too.
I do a lot.
Yeah, you're right.
Amazon's at our house every day.
Chewy with the dog. I got 3 dogs. Chewy's coming to my house. Yeah, Amazon.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Because my wife works for me too at the club, so my kids are older, so there's no one even to go to the stores.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Brick and mortar. on so many levels is kind of
I mean, you should talk it. We had a King Cullen close like 5 years ago. It's still an empty building.
yeah.
Empty. A big
see a lot of
supermarket. I wonder what they're going to do in there.
I don't know, but it's right around the corner for me. I'm happy about Trader Joe's though.
I like Trader Joe's. Is
Yeah.
that where you shop, or what about Whole Foods? You don't go to Whole Foods?
I don't like Whole Foods.
Why not? I love Whole Foods.
I don't do any of that organic stuff.
Oh, you don't want to live longer?
And my daughter,
You don't like apples that taste better?
that's the only place she stopped. Debbie and I went to Whole Foods. We walked in.
It's
we
the only
walked
place I
around,
shop.
We looked at prices and stuff. We walked out. We didn't buy anything.
What are you talking about? Of course you're going to pay for something that's better. You're going to pay more. Dude, take an apple,
I'd rather
take
go to
a bite.
Uncle Giuseppe's.
It's the same thing, though. The price is going to be the same at Uncle Giuseppe's.
Yeah.
Someone asked me the other day, what do they do at the end of the day when all that food's left over? I go, I don't know. Maybe there's nothing left over. Maybe somebody knows what they're doing over there.
Right.
Because I guess there's a lot of grab and go in there. I don't really go. It's not
Yeah.
my thing. There's not really one really near the house. But a friend of mine showed me an app for the phone the other day, and something new. I think it's called Too Good to Go is the name of the app, I believe. Don't quote me, but I believe that's what it is. And you'd get notices from restaurants, bagel stores, bakeries.
I heard of that.
The food they're going to throw out. So
Correct.
so if something was like $12 all day, and the place closes at 7 o'clock, at like 6 o'clock you'll get a text that it's going to be like $3. Hurry up and go down and get
Like
it.
a bagel store too, right?
Big time with bagel
Yeah.
stores, pizzerias, because again they have that
I heard
pre-made
about
food
that.
they're going to throw away.
Yep.
Too good to go.
How cool would that have been when you were in college and
Nah,
stuff?
I think that would have been awesome. I think I dropped the ball on that one. You know what I mean?
I know.
You know what I mean? What about the menu? You didn't watch the menu?
I didn't.
What? Oh, that's a good
I need to
one,
watch
man.
it.
Well, it's an insane idea in the fact that it's on HBO, and it's like the chef has become so famous, and we spoil this one every time. I talk about this movie every time somebody's here. The chef is so famous that he's cooked for so many people that only the richest people in the world can afford to eat there because it's gone to that level, and he's disgusted with that. So he's going to kill everybody. He's vetted everybody in the restaurant that night. That he figures everybody deserves to die in their own little way. And him, the sous chefs, the cooks, the busboys, the customers, everybody's going to go. They're going to burn in a fire. And that's the only way he could make himself feel better now. Is that crazy?
That's insanity.
And the staff is in, Steve. They're all like, we chef. Everybody's down.
Wow.
Everybody's happy to do it. So in my mind, I could kind of see, we're powerful people. We get them to march. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We get them to march through anything. He's getting them to march through this, which is pretty wild in its own way. But,
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, the menu.
All right.
Debbie, let Steve watch the menu tonight. Give him a couple free seconds. It only takes an hour and a half. So what's up? So you're gonna do vacations coming up for you? Anything good coming up? Any big? Any more grandkids on the way?
No more
Steven-
grandkids
well,
on the
Steven
way.
only got one. He's gonna have to have
Oh,
another
yeah,
one
of
soon.
course he will. You got to give him a minute, though.
I like it. I like what I see with him. He's got
me
a good
tell
head
you,
on his shoulders. That young man.
Steven's really good.
I like what I see with him.
I look at him and I'm like, oh my God! When they say the apple doesn't fall far
He's
from the
just
tree,
like you, man.
he's like meticulous. He
He's
has
just like
my same posture.
He's good. Like
You want to
that,
know the best
man.
thing though? I said, because he's a really good cook, right?
Is he? I didn't know that about
He's
him.
amazing.
I mean, I see he's doing
check
things, but I
out-
never got to eat
Check out
anything.
his YouTube channel.
He's got YouTube too?
Yeah.
All right.
And so I said, Stephen, of course you're a good cook. Your mother was an excellent cook.
Uh-huh.
Your father was a chef. He goes, I didn't learn from you guys. I have my own style.
He did not.
Yeah.
He did not.
I'm like, oh, I'm going to smack the shit out of you now.
You're like, no, it was in there already, brother. You didn't have to learn. It was there. We gave that to you.
Yeah. But, yeah,
That's
he's
awesome.
good. He's good around the house. He's great with the baby.
He lives over there by you?
Holtzville.
Holtzville, yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. You get close. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Good stuff.
All right, man. Well, thanks for stopping by today, brother.
My
I got
pleasure.
a lot of love for you, man, and Debbie, and
Same here.
we'll see you around each other, and then let's try and get something going. Maybe the next best thing we'll do together. All right.
Sounds good.
All right, man. You're watching the Go Crying to Walk In podcast. I'm Chef Cholo, and you already know. All right, brother. Let's do it.